You have to know what phase you're in so that you can apply your focus and money to the right things at the right time. One of the most important stories on this topic is something that happened to Robert Kiyosaki. And I don't know Robert personally, but I've heard him recount this story several times, which was at one point a member of the media came up to him and she told him, she said, I don't understand, Robert. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Most of you probably know that, several other books, but has sold millions and millions of copies. And this member of the media came up to him and she said, I just don't understand why so many people buy your book. And I just don't think it's that great of a book. I don't think it's a bad book. I just don't think it's very well written. And he says to her, he says, oh, well, see, you're completely missing the point. There's a reason why they don't call it New York Times Best Writing Author. It's New York Times Best Selling Author. And that one sentence to me is like the heartbeat of everything that we're talking about of the next 2 days that you have to understand. It's not New York Times Best Writing Author. It is New York Times Best Selling Author. There is a fantasy that authors have and that the world believes, which is that you write a book and it's really good and it just spreads and goes viral. Perhaps that's true for fiction books. I don't know. I don't know how much of what we talk about here applies directly to fiction books, but my guess is that it also probably applies in a lot of ways to fiction books, that it is not an accident. Why? Because excellence is never an accident. It doesn't just randomly happen, but especially with publishing, it's just, there's like this weird facade that people think that, you write a book and the ideas just start like spreading. And all of a sudden, if it's in the stars or if it's in fate, that, it'll work out in your favor. And it's like, I think luck certainly plays a part in everything, but it's one of those things where it's like, you can't leave it up to luck. The reality of the publishing world specifically, and this is just interesting to think about, is just it's all in the names, in the titles, right? So like, think about this. Writers, what do writers do? Writers write, and that's what they do. What do editors do? They edit. What do publishers do? They publish. They take the manuscript and they put it together and they print it and they publish the book. What do distributors do? They distribute the book. They push the book out to different channels across the globe. And then retailers retail. This is how the whole chain works. Writers write, editors edit it, publishers publish, distributors distribute, retailers retail, and nobody freaking sells the book. Nobody actually does the work of convincing someone they should buy the book. And so guess who that falls back on? That falls back to the author. And we don't maybe like it. Maybe we didn't originally sign up for it. We didn't think about it. But whether we like it or not, it's your book. It's your ideas. It's your responsibility. And having a book, as you will very well feel, if you don't already feel or already know, after these 2 days, is like having a baby in a sense. It is a massive amount of work and time and preparation. It's definitely, like a 2-year process at least between the writing and then the promoting and the launching. Why would you spend so much time doing something and then leave it up to chance about whether or not it's going to work out? You don't want to do that. You don't want to leave your business up to chance ever. Authors end up being the ones to promote. Now, this becomes part of the problem, is authors who a lot of times are not naturally like marketers or salespeople. they're stumbling through the process of trying to market and sell. And then they're kind of like stumbling around teaching people things that you could do. And this creates a lot of distraction and a lot of noise, because one of the biggest problems with book launches is that a lot of people share a lot of things that you could do. Like, there is no shortage, no lack of noise of things that you could do. But in reality, there are only a few things that you really should do. And these are the things that actually create orders. The other challenge here is that it's not just doing the right things, it's also about doing them at the right time. And this is something that is true. And if you've been around the brand builder journey for a while, we say this all the time, is that you have to know what phase you're in so that you can apply your focus and money to the right things at the right time. Because it is very possible, and it happens a lot, where people do the right thing at the wrong time, or they do the right thing in the wrong order. There's a sequence to all of this. And half of the battle is just kind of like knowing the sequence. It's like if you could see the order of which the dominoes lay in, then you can figure out on your own. It's like you almost don't even need us or someone to tell you what to do. It's more of like just going like, look, here are all the dominoes that need to get knocked over, and this is the way they're laid out, and then you knock them over. And that's like what, the brand builder journey is. Like, if it is a visual, it's like a domino effect. And as the first domino all the way back in finding your brand DNA in phase one, like that's the heart. It's like some of the hardest work to do, and building your audience in phase two, and getting social media followers, and like getting all your copy done and your website right, and slogging through, like getting a funnel launched, and like, but then the dominoes start to fall, and they start to fall faster and faster and faster and faster. And that is exactly what we are doing.